President Trump rallied a rowdy crowd in a potential key swing state for the 2020 presidential election. And officials have issued a health alert for kids and teenagers who eat a lot of fast food. We'll have more details. Plus, police say an unusually high number of cruisers have been hit so far this year. We will tell you about another one that happened in Illinois yesterday.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. If you're just now checking in, happy Friday to you. The time is now 6:33. Let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast with forecaster Brandon Robinson. Brandon, not too bad out there this morning. Definitely feeling like spring this week.
It actually is, and we're feeling that into the weekend. Unfortunately, though, as we head deeper into the weekend early next week, a little bit of a cold front's going to knock us down a notch or two, but we start to rebound pretty quickly. Maybe a redbud winter as we head into the end of the weekend. It's about time for that. Let's take a look there this morning at the camera network. We start in McKee, downtown, all quiet. A few cars moving around this morning. Live pinpoint Doppler radar, not much going on, but as you look back over toward the Big Sandy, a couple of stray showers between Paintsville and Louisa there on 23. So just, again, give yourself a little extra few minutes. Take the rain gear with you. Temperatures, Ridge Valley split once again, so it means it's colder in the valleys, warmer on the ridge tops, close to 60 in parts of the Big Sandy this morning. Out the door forecast, we are going to see temperatures close to 70 today, but scattered showers will be around. Very scattered, but still keep that rain gear handy. Macy.
All right, thank you, Brandon. For more than 80 minutes last night, President Trump rallied a rowdy crowd in Michigan, a potential key swing state for the 2020 presidential election. And it was the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election that remained front and center. CBS's Laura Podesta has the more from New York.
The Russia hoax is finally dead.
In front of his supporters for the first time since the end of the special counsel's Russia probe.
The collusion delusion is over.
President Trump kept his ire focused on Democrats who have their own investigations into him.
The Democrats have to now decide whether they will continue defrauding the public with ridiculous bullshit.
He singled out the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee,
Little pencil neck Adam Schiff.
Earlier on Thursday, House Republicans demanded Schiff resign as chairman of the committee. The president took it a step further, tweeting he should be forced to resign from Congress.
I think it's unethical.
Schiff punched back.
My colleagues may think it's okay that the Russians offered dirt on the Democratic candidate for president as part of what was described as the Russian government's effort to help the Trump campaign. You might think that's okay.
CBS News has learned Robert Mueller's report is more than 300 pages long.
Total exoneration.
Attorney General William Barr's 4-page summary of the report says Mueller found no evidence of collusion, but could not exonerate the president on possible obstruction of justice charges.
Show us the report, and we can draw our own conclusions.
Democrats say they may subpoena the report if it's not released by Tuesday. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
77% of people polled by CBS News say the special counsel's finding on Russian election interference should be released. The first daughter was back in Kentucky yesterday. President Trump's daughter and advisor, Ivanka Trump, returned to the Bluegrass to tour the Toyota plant in Georgetown this morning. She visited the plant to learn about how Toyota is training its employees for the workforce. She made stops in eastern Kentucky last year. The regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly wrapped up just before midnight last night. In the final minutes of the session, lawmakers passed House Bill 358, which will allow nearly 120 quasi-governmental state agencies to leave the state's struggling retirement system. The move keeps those agencies, which include local health departments, domestic violence shelters, rape crisis centers, and some public universities, out of bankruptcy, and allows their pension contributions to stay frozen at 49% for the next year. If the agencies opt out of the plan, there would be incentives to pay their liability back to the state at a discount. The bill now goes to Governor Bevin's desk. A jump in E. coli cases here in Kentucky is being linked to eating fast food. On Wednesday, the Kentucky Department of Public Health issued an alert about a sudden increase in cases in kids and teenagers. Most of the cases right now are out of central Kentucky, but there are concerns that it could spread, leaving busy parents scrambling for other meal options. In another health alert, a southern West Virginia elementary school is dealing with a scabies outbreak. It's happening at Holden Central Elementary School in Logan County. School officials say about 10 cases have been confirmed since late Thursday. Last Thursday, crews are working extra hours after school to clean the facility. Parents were not immediately notified about the case due to privacy concerns, which they say is frustrating.
It's not something you want to deal with, but it would be nice to know ahead of time before I send my children up here.
Officials say the school will stay open during the cleaning. Some parents say their children will not be going to class until the situation is resolved. Kentucky State Police say a man from Pineville, Kentucky died after a crash in Boyd County. 26-year-old Jason Smalley died from his injuries. The crash involving a car and a U-Haul happened Monday night on State Route 180 near the junction of I-64, not far from Boyd County High School. Kentucky State Police troopers say alcohol and speed were contributing factors. Illinois State Police say a trooper died during a traffic stop yesterday. Trooper Brooke Jones Story pulled a semi-truck over for inspection on U.S. Highway 20 near Rockford. Another semi struck her cruiser, and the first semi. There's no word yet on whether anyone will be charged and if anyone else was hurt. The 34-year-old was a 12-year veteran of the force. Police say an unusually high number of cruisers have been hit so far this year. It is now officially game day for the Kentucky Wildcats. Big Blue will meet the Houston Cougars inside the Sprint Center from Kansas City tonight. WYMT's Will Puckett and Marcus Browning have more on the contest and how fans spent their day before the big game.
So in just a short little while, the University of Kentucky and the University of Houston basketball teams will walk right through that tunnel and take the floor here at the Sprint Center. But before that happens, the University of Kentucky marching band is in town to cheer on their Wildcats, and they took an experience unlike any other. They went to the College Basketball Experience, the building right next to the Sprint Center, to experience what it's like for the players who are going to hit this floor. And as they flew in on Wednesday and had their off day on Thursday, they got to take in the sights and sounds and the food of Kansas City.
A lot of times, so we get to go to a lot of cities, and we normally have at least 1 or 2 days off. So we normally just kind of go typical tourists in the city, you know, go sightseeing, go to the zoos, go to museums. So this is just another really cool experience that definitely really relates to the trip we're on. So
I'm joined by sports director Marcus Browning now. And Marcus, while the band got to take in the sights and sound, Kentucky hit the practice floor in the Sprint Center, and we found out that they're kind of in a double survive and advance mode.
Of course, the dominant question of this NCAA tournament for Kentucky is, will P.J. Washington play against the Houston Cougars? Of course, P.J. did practice on Thursday afternoon. Didn't really get too physical, but he did say that he wanted to play. Of course, Wildcats played without him in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, and Coach Cal says that it's really important that the Wildcats keep winning so that whether or not Kentucky plays on Friday night, they will be able to allow PJ to play at some point in this tournament.
Well, part of our deal was to let's survive so PJ gets a chance to play. This is an important time for all these kids. Like, I don't take that lightly, and I understand, and I respect these kids. This stuff is hard. And so we're out there, the last 2 games, we started 4 freshmen and made it even tougher. But, you know, I think that they survived, and now he gets a chance to perform.
Of course, well, the NCAA tournament is what the Wildcats have been building for this entire year. And P.J. Washington said in the locker room Thursday afternoon that he wanted to play in this tournament. So I know that Coach Cal and the Wildcats want to have him out on the court with them. Will it happen against Houston? Still to be determined.
Wait and see for week number 2. Approximately 9:59 on TBS, Kentucky versus Houston. That's not it from Kansas City. We'll have much more coverage inside the Sprint Center. He's Marcus Browning. I'm Will Puckett. We'll send it back to you.
Of course, the winner of the Houston and Kentucky game will face either Auburn or North Carolina on Sunday. That game will precede the Cats and the Cougars. And let's go ahead and take a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, not looking too bad out there. Definitely enjoying these spring temperatures this week.
Yeah, it's been very nice across the region all week long. A little cool toward the beginning of the week, and things are getting much warmer as we head toward the weekend. But what goes up must come down thanks to a cold front. We're looking at the chances for some scattered showers this morning. A lot back into central Kentucky, not too much here in the east this morning. It's 47 in Harlan, but almost 60 there in Prestonsburg. It is in the 60s in Moorhead this morning. Take a look at the temperatures to change from yesterday. 20 degrees warmer in Moorhead, close to that there down toward Monticello. So as we take a look at the weather app forecast, you can get that download for free on both app stores, Android and iPhone, and you can see cloudy skies, the name of the game, but you see those rain chances there as well as temperatures approach 70 degrees later on. Macy?
All right, thank you, Brandon, and we'll have stories trending on WYMT.com next. Thank you so much for joining us on Mountain News this morning. And do you have any gift cards laying around not being put to use? Coming up, we'll show you how you can put those unwanted or unused cards to use.